Hey guys, I'm back to do another character review. Like I mentioned in my last video, this time the characters that my friend and I are reviewing are, Glittering Goldie from DuckTales and Prince Derek from The Swan Princess. My friend did his Goldie video yesterday, I did my Goldie video the day before that, and I'm here today to do my Derek video. Like I mentioned in the review that I did of Odette, I'm not... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I've only recently become a Swan Princess fan. I only saw it for the first time a couple of months ago. That was mostly because growing up I was... It didn't sound that appealing to me because the stuff that appealed to me was mainly, action-adventure stuff more aimed at boys. While that still does appeal to me more than fairy tales today, I'm more, open-minded than I was as a kid. But yeah, I've only seen it a couple of times. So I haven't been, needless to say, I haven't really been following Odette and Derek, or any of the characters that long. Sort of like my friend with Goldie. He only recently watched the DuckTales episodes with her in it, to do his review of her. But I've seen The Swan Princess a couple of times, and I know enough about the characters that I can give a decent review. Anyway, the complaints are, he's shallow and superficial because he only likes Odette for her looks. He's stupid. He has no personality. He's ugly. He's rude. He bullied Odette all her life. He's a horribly written hero. He doesn't seem to notice any difference between the real Odette and the fake Odette. He doesn't deserve someone like Odette. And his character development was done poorly. Okay. Starting with he's shallow and only likes Odette for her looks. Really? Yeah, I know that there's that one scene where he says, you're beautiful, and she says, and he's, what else is there? But I don't really see that as him only liking her for her looks, because, pretty soon afterwards, he's beating himself up about how stupid that was of him. He pretty quickly realizes that was a that was a stupid thing to say, and that it would definitely come across as him only liking her for her looks. I think that was more to show that, I think that scene wasn't so much intended to make him look shallow as it was to make him awkward and not really know how to express his love and explain how much he liked her. And yeah, I know there was that other scene where during the song he's thinking to himself, suddenly she's transformed from an ugly duckling to a beautiful swan. But I think that was supposed to be more of a metaphor to the fact that, she is going to become an actual swan. And, not so much the fact that he only cared about her looks. Yeah, I mean, I think that could have been handled better. But, when I think of, shallow heroes that only like, somebody for their looks, I think of somebody like Dimitri, who, instantly likes Anastasia as soon as she fixes her hair and puts on a pretty dress. And why is it that he never gets complaints about that? Huh? Why? Uh, I mean, just because somebody finds, somebody attractive, that, that doesn't mean that they're shallow and only like them for their looks. Moving on. He's stupid. Stupid is a complaint that gets thrown around a lot. And I mean a lot. And like my friend and I have mentioned, so far we've had 2 1/3 reviews where it was valid, and those would be or arguably valid. Those would be Anastasia Tremaine, Launchpad McQuack, and Hugo, and in that case, he would be the 1/3 since all of the gargoyles were labeled stupid and he's the only one who qualified. So they were the only 3 characters where it was even arguably valid. Yeah, Derek does have his arguably stupid moments, like, chasing around the monster that got Odette, and, shooting it at every animal. But, I mean, if the thing can shapeshift into anything, what else are you going to do? And, also using his, servants as target practice and that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, he does have some arguably stupid moments, but, calling every character that has arguably stupid moments stupid is, pretty weak and invalid. Because, I mean, name a hero or heroine that has any amount of screen time and any kind of character depth that doesn't have an arguably stupid moment. And when I say that, when I say that, I mean, I'm not referring to characters like Snow White's Prince, Prince Charming in the original movie, Lola Bunny in Space Jam, Princess Aurora, that kind of stuff. Any hero or heroine that's had any amount of screen time and any amount of character development. Name one of them that doesn't have some kind of arguably stupid moment, because I really can't think of any. And even if a character is stupid, that doesn't automatically make them a bad character. I mean, you've got the ones that I listed, Anastasia Tremaine, who is arguably not real bright, who is arguably stupid and definitely not real bright, Launchpad, Hugo, Goofy, Dopey, Dory, and some others. To me, for a character to be, and also some of the Looney Tunes, like Daffy Duck, I would say, isn't real bright. For me, for a character to be stupid and a bad character, they have to be like a total drooling idiot that can't take care of themselves, like, some of the characters in Austin and Ally, like, Dez, and that sort of thing. But, anyway, quit labeling everyone stupid who makes an arguably stupid decision. That's very invalid and gets thrown around way too much. He has no personality. Again, that's another complaint that gets thrown around way too much. Unless you're referring to an extremely minor character with one or two lines, like, the guy in Beauty and the Beast who yells, "Bonjour," or something like that. Every single character has some kind of personality. It may be a boring one-dimensional personality. It may be a poorly done and poorly developed personality. It may not be one that appeals to you. But they've got a personality. Way too many characters get labeled as having no personality, like, Derek and Odette, Aurora and Philip, Snow White's Prince, Prince Charming, Elsa, Madeline from Hunchback 2, Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Way too many characters get labeled as having no personality. So, if you find his personality boring, that's your opinion. I can see that to an extent, but find a better complaint than him having no personality. And I'm not going to get too deep into this, because I've gone over it in a ton of reviews, because, like I said, it gets thrown around a lot. He's ugly. That's a pretty weak and invalid complaint. And pretty shallow. Beauty is very much in the eye of the beholder. I mean, I definitely wouldn't call him the most handsome animated male. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, like I've mentioned before, I find Cruella de Vil to be beautiful, even though a lot of people find her butt ugly. But then again, I've even heard people say that, that Ursula from The Little Mermaid is beautiful, even though she's, obese and was modeled after a drag queen. So, beauty's very much in the eye of the beholder, but, basing whether you like or dislike a character solely on their looks is, pretty weak and shallow, and you definitely need a better reason than that. I mean, there are characters that I dislike, like, Flynn Rider and Sinbad, that I find quite attractive, and characters that I love, like, Quasimodo, Mama Odie, Ursula, that I find unattractive. So, nice try, but pick a better one than that. He's rude. Well, as a child, he was rude to Odette, but she was also pretty rude to him. Which I will get more to in a later complaint. I mean, I don't really see him as being any more rude than the average. Than the average child. And as an adult, I never really saw him as rude. I mean, yeah, I know he plays target practice with his servants and that sort of thing, but like my friend mentioned, when one of them gets injured, he tells him that he can take some time off. And honestly, when I think of when I think of rude kids, I think of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And yeah, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from their fans. But yeah, I think of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who are constantly telling Webby that they... You can't do this because you're a girl. Or making fun of their best friend for being overweight and telling him that if he wants to do things with them, he has to pay, and making fun of Scrooge for being afraid of things, and that kind of stuff. When I think of rude kids, they're the ones who come to mind, and even more than their DuckTales version, their Quack Pack version. So yeah, while Derek was arguably rude as a little boy to Odette, she also was she also was rude back to him. I mean, he would say things like, I'd like her better if she'd lose it. If she'd lose it this game and that kind of stuff. But, to me that just seems like normal kid stuff. Anyway, he bullied Odette her whole life. How? Like I said, they really kind of bullied each other. Every time he was rude to her, she was rude back. I mean, to me, they seemed like normal, normal kids, who, liked each other, but didn't want to admit it, and, that sort of thing. I mean, yeah, I know that he shot at her when she was a swan, but he didn't know that she was one. I don't really see that as bullying her, since he didn't actually know that it was her that he was shooting at. And I don't really see them teasing each other and, trying to get the best of each other as kids as bullying each other. Or as him bullying her. I mean, by that logic, she bullied him too. So to me, that's real double standard. That's real double standard, and that's saying that every time a guy teases a girl, she's the victim, but every time a girl teases a guy, she's the dominant one and she has the right to do it. Cut that out. Seriously, cut that out. I mean, as I've mentioned before, I consider myself a feminist in that I want women to have equal rights as men and be treated equally. But and to me, kids teasing each other. There's nothing wrong with that, but accusing a boy of teasing a girl, accusing a boy who's teasing a girl of bullying her and claiming that she's some kind of victim, but not acknowledging the fact that she's bullying him is total double standard. Anyway, moving on. He's a horribly written hero. He's definitely not the best written hero. But when I think of horribly written hero, I think of characters like, Dimitri from Anastasia, Peter Pan from Peter Pan, Edward from Twilight, and that sort of thing. He's definitely not the best written hero. And they probably could have done better with him, but I personally do like him. And I mean, to me, characters like Dimitri, who automatically decides that he likes Anastasia out of nowhere, and Peter Pan, who decides he's going to kill people for fun, and laughs when the mermaids try to kill Wendy, and Edward, who is basically there to be Bella's crutch that she leans on, and rescue her every time she decides to commit suicide when he leaves. To me, those are much more poorly written heroes than Derek is. He's probably not the best written hero. I mean, they could have done a little bit better exploring his personality and doing his development and that kind of stuff, but definitely not the worst. I'd say average. But I understand that he's not a character for everybody. Moving on. Sorry, I lost my train of thoughts. He doesn't seem to notice any difference between the real Odette and the fake Odette. Really? Were we watching the same movie? I mean, as soon as he, as soon as he sees her and notices that she's acting differently than the real Odette, he says, "There's something different about you," and questions her about that a lot. But I mean, they look frickin' identical. So I don't really know what difference you thought that he would see. I mean, that's kind of like the complaint about Charming about Prince Charming claiming that he was stupid not to remember Cinderella in the third movie, even though he was under a frickin' spell. So to me, this is very nitpicky and invalid, since he does definitely notice a difference in her and asks her and mentions that there's something different about her several times. And yeah, I know she was wearing a black dress, which was different, but it's fairy tale logic. But which you also have to take into consideration, and something that my friend also mentioned is that when it's stated that he has to make his vow of love for Odette to the world, it wasn't specific about what world, and when he makes his vow to the real Odette, when he makes his vow to the real Odette, she's his world, and the world that he was supposed to make it to. That's something that I didn't get the first time I saw it, and I saw it as kind of a plot hole, but that makes more sense to me now. So, again, I really don't know what you thought he would notice as different about the fake Odette, since, she looks identical to the real one, and he did notice some differences about her anyway. Moving on. He doesn't deserve someone like Odette. Why? I mean, like I just mentioned, he makes his vow of true love to her and to the world, which obviously means that he truly loves her. And he risks his life several times to save her, so I don't really see why he doesn't deserve her. What is it about her that makes you think she's too good for him? And as I mentioned earlier, it's not like he loves her only for her looks and is shallow or anything like that. I mean, anybody who would risk their life to save somebody, doesn't just like them for their looks. If he only liked Odette for her looks, he would, move on and find another girl as prettier than she is. So he obviously truly loves Odette, since, his vow of true love worked to save her, and since he was willing to risk his life for her. So I don't really see why he doesn't deserve her, since he since he really loves her and was willing to risk his life for her. This is very invalid and very nitpicky. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too deep into it since since it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And finally, his character development was done poorly. Like I mentioned before, it probably wasn't the best character development, but I don't think it was done poorly. It wasn't just boom out of nowhere like for lack of a better example, Dimitri or Flynn Rider or something like that. I mean, it does show him developing as a character, realizing how stupid he was to say what else matters but looks, and then at the end being able to express his love for Odette, and that kind of stuff. So while it's probably not the best character development, I wouldn't say that it's very poorly done. I mean, when I think of poorly done character development, I think of Dimitri, Flynn Rider, or Sinbad, who just kind of boom changed for no no apparent reason, just pretty much out of nowhere. I'd say that Derek's was pretty much averagely good. Since, like I said, it does actually show some development, like him realizing him being awkward, then realizing what he said was stupid, then being able to actually express his love for Odette. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about the complaints. Some of these I suppose I can get to a small extent. But most of them I find pretty nitpicky and invalid. Anyway, like I said, I only recently saw The Swan Princess for the first time, so I'm no expert on it. But I actually do like the character Derek a lot. He's probably actually in my top 10 favorite animated heroes, and I absolutely love the him and Odette as a couple. They're definitely in my top 5 favorite animated couples. So even though I've recently become a fan, even though I've only recently become a fan of theirs, even though I've only recently become a fan of the movie and the characters, I absolutely I absolutely love it, and I'm glad that I saw it. And that's about all that I have to say. The link to my friend's video and the links to my friend's 2 videos and my first video will be in the description box below. Sorry, I'm stammering. I encourage you to watch them. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't already, bye and see you next time.